you asked for.
Hearthstats Champions League Season 1. Round of 8. Gaara versus Dart.
Okay, so Innervate Shade, turn 1, turn 2 Wild Growth. That's, I guess that's a pretty good opening if you're a Druid.
That's a good opening for a Druid, but I'm looking at Dart's hand and I'm just... Oh my god. Again, Cogmaster.
Yeah, and the Clockwork Gnome as well. And then Neutron. What a start.
Wow, he actually mulliganed Spider Tank, where it looked very nice with like Cogmaster into coin Spider Tank. But I wonder what card is he looking for? Is he looking for a Blast Mage? Or Mech Warper? Mech Warper possibly.
Yeah, that is definitely possible. We do also want to thank Kinguin for hosting us since their tournament's just finished and sending their viewers our way. It's very nice of them. And Olasami, who's been with us all week, restreaming the tournament with her own Russian commentary. And it's nice to be finally beating her in viewer numbers for the last couple of days. So we thank her for that as well. And to our Chinese restream as well. It's being broadcast in 3 languages. I'm pretty sure some of them are better than listening to me.
Well, it's great that the tournament is actually broadcasted in many languages because, you know, Hearthstone is an exciting and fantastic game, and I really want to bring Hearthstone to more people, and not everybody is actually understanding English, so if we have more languages, the more the better.
Yeah, yesterday we had as many people watching on the Chinese stream as we had the English, so it's definitely a global game, global community. The Chinese scene getting so huge, but we see the double Clockwork Gnome here. Clockwork Gnome, for me, kind of always feels like maybe a weak opening against Druid because you know that they do have that hero power, but I guess you are getting damage in, and that can make all the difference.
Yeah, also it's important that you're getting spare parts, and in many cases spare parts can help you win the game, where you just swap the stats of like Druid of the Claw being a 4/6 into a 6/4 and easily trade against it, or in the key moment you just freeze something and go for face. I wanted to like talk a bit about why this matchup is so bad for Druid. It's mostly because, again, Mage can snowball, and you do have to get the cards like Cogmaster and those early minions to be able to deal the early damage, and in the mid game you shine with cards like Piloted Shredder and Yeti, which Dart has in his hand, and then you finish up with cards like big bombs like Dr. Boom and Fireballs when the Druid actually struggles. Like, Druid originally always had trouble with coming back, especially if you're playing a combo Druid, not like a taunt. You just play those minions and they don't do much, and Mage just plows through them. But on the other hand, Druid can fight back with the cards that we see on board right now, with Keeper of the Grove, with Shades, because this Mage doesn't have any clears. Like, there's no Flame Strike, Blizzard. So if you're not able to deal enough damage till endgame, you might just lose. And Druid has a lot of explosion as well with Savage Roar, especially with the board when the board is full.
Yeah, we are probably going to see the Druid start to take a little bit more control of the board this turn. Those 2 Shades getting pretty huge already. Ancient of Lore, that's going to be big turn 7. Dr. Boom in hand already as well, but probably just going to see Hero Power take off the Divine Shield, use the Keeper of the Grove to clear out the Annoyatron, possibly even clear out the Shredder here, and just try and mop up this board a little bit before it gets completely out of control. Definitely.
With Wild Growth, it's also important that Gaara is going to get one of the 7 drops on turn 6. And with Ancient of Lore, if he feels like it, he will be able to heal himself and escape the range of Mage. And with Dr. Boom, if like he doesn't have to heal himself, he will set up a board for a possible lethal next turn with Savage Roar. So right now it's only like the question, like, how do you clear, and do you really clear? Because I don't think he has any reason to go for face. So he might also decide to keep the Shades hidden for, like, you know, to win
Savage Roar, yeah. Yeah, you can definitely set, and you know, you see Dr. Boom in both hands well before turn 7, and it feels like, okay, that's pretty equal, but actually you can see Gaara getting the Wild Growth in turn when there's not anything else to play. Really crucial for the Druid being able to fit those Wild Growths in if you don't get them early on, and he was able to find a perfect home for that Wild Growth on turn 5, and allow him to get he's going to be able to get his Dr. Boom off a full, like, 3 turns before Dart can get his.
That's the power of the Druid. That's why Druid can sweep people, because you do cheat a bit with the mana crystals. and you play those bigger creatures earlier. And it's like the Hearthstone is designed in a way where you have those key turns for key answers. Let's say like on turn 6 or 7 you play a big minion being Dr. Boom, and you're a Warlock, you should be able to have a Siphon Sword for turn 6, but Druid can play it earlier before you even get the removal cards.
Well, the Frostbolt does come down and clear at that first shade, and clearing the Keeper is pretty important as well. Even though that one shade is getting pretty huge, it is going to make a difference not having those multiple minions on the board for a potential Savage Roar on turn 8. MC Tech, we could well see that in this matchup. It's certainly a good anti-aggro tech. A lot of decks are choosing to include the MC Tech at this point, but Dart is in a pretty bad position here.
I love the play from Gaara. Gaara is just saying, hey, I have bigger minions and I can kill you. So Gaara is basically forcing Dart to clear the board and keeping the... He was able to somehow turn around the game where he is the aggressor and Dart is in the defensive, and it's not really a good feeling as a Mage to be defensive versus Druid.
No, it's a very odd position in Mage to be on the defense, kind of ever. But this Druid really putting the pressure on in what is a very early stage of the game. And that Direwolf Alpha actually is kind of awkward because it does mean that he could clear the Shade of Naxxramas with the Snow Chugger, but then he wouldn't have an activator for the Goblin Blast Mage.
Yeah, right now he's thinking he wants to play the Blast Mage right now and possibly lose the Snow Chugger to a bomb.
Only 1 damage.
Oh man, that was lucky. I was like, if this is going to die, he will be so disappointed. And also, like, if the Direwolf would die, well, if Direwolf dies, he actually has the thing still, but...
He's able to clear that Boombot, and again, that is very crucial for Savage Roar. Boombot does kill the Direwolf, but double Ancient of Lore in hand for Gaara means he could opt to draw... Do you think he opts to draw cards here, since he's been in such a good position?
If you count 2 Fireballs, which are not going to get casted because your opponent has 7 mana, I think you can get ambitious and actually draw cards. You really have to count the damage. Like, is it possible that Mage is going to kill you with 7 mana? With Fireball and Frostbolt, that's 9, 14. It's not. So if you attack with Boom for face, you can probably draw the cards. But do you even need the cards? Because right now he is well, you probably want to get a Force of Nature and develop the 5-foot body anyway. So I think like he can draw cards here and just go for face.
There's Innervate and Sylvanas. Interesting.
Innervate is very good. He can even play the mind control tech to develop the board and put himself in a situation with Savage lethal next turn.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and do that, put the mind control tech on the board. But this pretty much telegraphs to Dart that, you know, hey, by the way, I've got a Savage Roar, but he can clear out the Doctor Boom here. Blintron does come in, but that's probably not going to do any good for Dart here. He really needed a Fireball to clear out the Ancient of Lore. This is probably going to be curtains for Dart in this third game.
Yeah, this is certainly over because Dart has to play Dr. Boom in this situation. He has to assume that there's that Gaara's hand is so bad, there is nothing to play.
What do the weapons get? That's a Perdition's Blade.